So one day I'm on this construction site and this guy named John comes up and he's yipping and yapping about one of those work from home schemes, right? And just like everybody who hears about one of those work from home schemes, when they first hear it, they're always a little bit skeptical, right? So it amazes me when people go and they come to me and they complain and they say, well, somebody said that it was a scam. Well, of course they did. Right? I mean, this is human nature because society breeds us and brings us up to look at everything. I mean, just sit down and watch CNN. It's constant negative news 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? So that's what I was doing. I was in that mentality, plus every night we came home and we sat in front of the idiot box and watched this bullshit. So of course I was infected with the virus of mediocrity. But John came up and he kept coming back day after day because he lived on the same street that we were working on, and we knew him because we'd done work at his house, and he kept stopping back by, kept trying to sponsor us into his business. Now this persistent bastard, thank God he did come back, right? Because eventually I took the money from that construction site, from that construction job, and I went and I joined his business. And it was the funniest thing that you've ever seen in your entire life, watching me try to sponsor my first person. Because I was running around town. Now by this time, I had bought myself a truck. And I don't know if you guys have heard me talk about this truck before, but Erin knows. When I bought it, she was excited. Because remember, Erin and I went through this journey together, and she watched me. I met her when I was 3 months clean. So she watched me progress through life and through work and through my personal life and stuff like this. So for us, when I first bought it, it was a big deal. But the truth of the matter was it was a piece of shit, right? It was gray. The paint was peeling off of the front in ways that, if I drove over 40 miles an hour, big paint chips would fly off of it, and I just did my best not to look in the rearview mirror and see what they were hitting, right? I would literally have to start it with a screwdriver. And here's what I mean by that. I'm not a mechanic, but there's something called a solenoid inside of a Ford truck. And I don't know if they're in Chevys too. Again, I'm not a mechanic. But the starter or something didn't work, so I had to take a screwdriver and pop the hood and start the thing with a screwdriver, and sparks would fly all over the place, and I'd look like I was stealing the damn thing until somebody got up close to it and realized that nobody would want to steal this type of truck. Nobody, So I was driving around and I got magnets from Vistaprint. Anybody know about Vistaprint? Now, if you've ever been broke trying to build a business, then you know about these free sites, right? Because you can go and you can get signs for your yard, magnets for your car, and you can order business cards and all this kind of stuff. And I did this. I got magnets for my truck, and I put them on the side of the truck. And at this time, it was a cell phone deal, and they had a refer 3, get yours free thing. So I was like, refer 3, get yours. Are you still paying for your cell phone? I mean, I was doing this years ago. They've got new companies that are coming out now. I had this pitch years ago, right? You still paying for your cell phone? I'm not. Call me. Well, I mean, I would drive down the road with this magnet on the side of my truck, and I would try to make eye contact with people, and they'd do this. Because they didn't want anything to do with what I had, right? It's just where. This is how I thought of marketing, right? So eventually that company went out of business, and I found myself stumbling around on my dad's computer, and I opted into somebody's marketing list. And I had a decision that I could either quit because that company shut down on me, truthfully, because the owners were a bunch of ween bags, right? And they broke a fingernail and made promises that they couldn't deliver on, and that's why they shut down. And I could have went and said, oh, I knew this thing wouldn't work. I'd go back to my life, go back to swinging a hammer on a construction site where I belong, and made all of the excuses. I knew it wouldn't work for me, all of the stuff that we hear people saying on a daily basis, right? I mean, these are the objections that we get. Oh, you still doing that internet thing? You still think that you're going to make money with that thing, right? I could have listened to all that bullshit, but I didn't. I got on the internet and I started opting into people's list. And I thought to myself, as soon as I started getting emails from these people, I'm running around town like an asshole. This guy's probably on a date with some hot babe, out driving some fast car, and I'm getting an email from him about his business. And I said, you have got to be shitting me. And something clicked. And so I said, Aaron, I don't have any money, but you got credit cards and I need a computer. Let me get one. And she did.
Awesome.
And she took me to Best Buy and we bought a computer and put it on a payment plan for 6 months. It was a $500 or $600 computer. And I sat there and I went ballistic, crazy, trying to figure out how to set up a blog and how to email, how to generate my first lead and how to get traffic and figure out all of this stuff. And then I found one of the lowest types of parasites that I've ever seen before, which is the marketing guru, right? I mean, I'd met a lot of parasites, but I hadn't met a parasite like this before, right? I'd go in and I'd opt into his list, and then he'd slam me into the next launch, and I'd buy that. I'd go back and I'd say, honey, I've got to put this product on our credit card even though we don't have any money. And then the next week, I thought that was going to be the secret to all my problems. And then the next week, there was another solution to all my problems because there was another launch and another launch and another launch and another product and another secret. And I got so worn down by this stuff that I was once again back in a situation where I was ready to quit. And I can remember sitting down one day really considering whether I was going to buy food or pay the electric bill. This was the point that I had come to with making decisions in my life. And I realized that even though I had been scraping dope off of a toilet seat in one of the dirtiest laundry room bathrooms that you'd ever want to find yourself in, this was a new low for me, was having to make these type of decisions. So at that moment, something clicked inside of me. And I said, I will never, ever have to make a decision like this again. And I haven't. From that day, I haven't. The other thing that I said to myself is, I'm going to help as many people as I can along the way not have to make those type of decisions either. And I have, right?
Thank you.
I have. That's the power of decision. It's the power of vision. It's the power of commitment. It's the power of not settling for less. It's the power of not letting your past determine your future.